Okay, what is my task? I want to automate my UI demo. Before that, my data should be uploaded to the queue. So these are the values which are available in my Excel file, and I want to upload all these values of transaction Excel file in a queue. So in previous example, we have gone through how we can upload. That is called as actually dispatcher. So please tell me the steps so that we can go forward.
First, we have to take read range activity.
Yeah.
Then add queue activity.
Great. That's superb. First, I should take read range, should specify the path of my transaction file, then create the variable, out transaction data. Then yes, next step, I have taken a read range for reading my transaction file, read transaction Excel file. Okay. First task, first activity is correct, absolutely correct. Next step.
For each row data table, next activity.
Good. For each row in data table, here I should pass my out transaction data. Then next,
Add queue activity.
add queue item activity. In add queue item activity, here in item information, I should specify all the columns names whatever available in Excel file. So in Excel file, we have a cache in, and here I should specify current rows index, that is a 0. Then second argument is on a check. These all basics you need in a RE framework. Whatever I'm doing right now, that is useful in a RE framework. Third one is a not on a check. Okay, so this is bit longer task, item information adding in your queue. Then queue name is, I think we have not created our queue. So go to queues, create a new queue, that is a UI demo. Maximum retries, you can put 2 or 1, that is okay. Add, copy this UI demo name in your queue name. Folder path is RP batch. So this is first task. Whenever you are uploading the data, this you should complete. So let's check whether any values are available with UI demo. Initially, there will not be any value, no data to display it. Okay. Now I'll trigger my bot to add the values. Let me trigger this dispatcher. Sorry, this is open. Now you can check RP batch, sorry, UI demo, view transactions. Yes, 5 transactions are added. You can check the values of this transaction items. Yes, honest check, not honest check, and caching. Okay, first task is completed. Now dispatcher task is completed. I'll take new activity here, performer. Now in performer, I'm just adding one more extra thing. I want to log in into my desktop application. What is my task? I want to log in into my desktop application. Then you can just enter the credentials and go to that UIDOM application. So I'm for time being, I'm just skipping first steps. You can directly use a login like a attach window and type into activity, and you can just log in into this application. If you want, then we can. May I skip or may I start from login?
Skip, sir.
Okay. So now our main target is to enter the data in UI demo application. So before entering the data in UI demo application, we should get the data from UiPath Orchestrator. Until and unless we are not getting data from Orchestrator, we are not able to enter the values here. Understood? Because in dispatcher, we are uploading data to queue, and in performer, we should take the data from queue to enter in your application. So to get the data or to retrieve the data from Orchestrator, we are having which activity? Get transaction item activity. Same activity. Nothing is different here. Again, queue name is UI demo, folder path is RP batch, transaction item. You can create OP transaction. Okay. Now here you can find your specific value of Q. Now our requirement is bit different. We have to enter here the values one by one. So to take appropriate value from transaction item, because in transaction item you can find there are 3 values, and if you want to specific item, let's say I want to cash in only, if I want to honest check, if I want to not honest check, so for that to get the specific value, I should take assign activity, because I want to assign specific value. Let's see, first value is cash in. So how we can get cash in value? This is our transaction item. Transaction item dot specific content. In last session, we gone through the specific content, and here what we should pass? What we should pass here? I want cash in value. This cash in I should pass. Now, since this is a integer data, I should convert data into integer. Cache in variable type should be integer only. It should not be string. At one point I missed. Get transactions items variable type is a queue item because we are taking that from queue. This is very important. Variable type of our output transaction item is queue item. Transaction item. Okay. Now for first cache in, I will get first value, that is whatever available in cache in column. For next, let's say next honest check variable, honest check, and third one is not honest check. I'm just creating three different variables to store three specific contact value, and all three are integer only. Understood what I'm doing? I'm just assigning three different values for three different variables because I want to enter in my UI demo application, and here just pass this value honest check because there might be some mistakes, so I'm just copying and pasting there. Honest check, sorry, here should be honest check. Here not honest check. A regular hands-on is very important, not honest check. Now what happened? I am getting transaction item from queue, and I'm assigning specific values of your Excel to specific variable. So in cache in, I have one value. Here I should give different name. I missed that one. Honest check. Already I have created variable, only name is remaining. Not honest check. So cache in, I'm assigning some values from queue item. Honest check, I'm assigning some value from queue item, and not honest check, I'm assigning some values from queue item. So three values related to cache in, honest check, not honest check are ready. Now we can perform whatever operations I want to do. Let us use type into activity. Now we can take one sequence related to your UI demo operation. Okay. So to enter the values in this text box, to enter the values in this box, what activity I should use? Which activity I should use? Guys, which activity I should use?
Type into.
Yeah, type into. So type into activity is used to enter the values in your text field. So here I have indicated, I have taken cache type into and indicated cache in. And which variable I should pass here?
Cache in.
Yeah. So cache in dot to string. Then for next, to enter the values of honest check, I should take again type into here honest check, again third time I should take type into, and third, not on a stick. And at last, I should use click activity to complete your transaction, except the particular task. Okay. So now what is happening? I am taking the values from this get transaction item and assigning specific value to the transaction item, specific item, and then entering the values in our UI demo. So let's trigger this bot performer. Every time one transaction will be executed. So next time we have a different value, that is a, you can see conversion from string to type integer is not valid. So this error you can find because we have an integer value and in queue that is not an integer. So how to deal with this situation? So to deal with this situation, we have already, I think in last session, we have gone through try catch mechanism. If there is any exception, system or business, we should use try catch mechanism. So we can just use try catch to cover this one, surround by try catch. And whenever there is any exception related to business, you can just handle in catch section. Now, previously we have seen the status as a, to set the status, we have set transaction activity. So we can just drag here. If it is working, then we can put the transaction as a successful. I'm just putting here transaction as successful. Transaction item we have already know, that is a op transaction item. Folder path, that is a RPA demo, or sorry, RPA batch. That's it. And if there is any exception, then you should specify which type of exception is there. Actually, casting operation, casting exception is not listed here. So whatever the exception which is not listed, you can just search invalid cast exception. If you are not understanding, please stop me and ask me the question why I'm doing this one. Any doubt? If you are not understanding what I'm doing, please ask me question. This is bit lengthy task I'm giving to you.
No, sir. Okay.
Okay. If our transaction is a fail, in that case, we are just giving the exception, that is an invalid cast exception, and here putting the status as a failed. In place of successful status, you can change to failed, and our transaction item is just give me scope of a transaction item. That is very important. That should be broader. So in invalid transaction item should be output transaction item, and here folder path as a RPA batch. And whenever you have business exception, you can put the value in a queue is not integer. Okay, so if the value is not integer, then there should be exception and it will be automatically handled. There is no need to specify any reason. So let me trigger this bot. Performer. And if you don't want to stop in between, you can directly okay. Let me show you the status. It's successful. Next one. It is directly skipped. The reason is there is a business exception. And you can find here failed. And the reason is business, because you can see the value in queue is not integer. Getting what I have explained you? Now, this is happening for only one transaction. Understood? This is happening for one transaction. If I want to repeat for all these transactions, what I should do? Let's see.
So we can for each row, sir.
For each row already, actually, whenever we are doing any other operation in Excel, we can use for each row to iterate for all. But here we have a little bit different concept to go for all. Any other suggestion?
Do while, sir.
Yes, looping we can do while we can use. That is best approach we can use. Now, yes, we can put one condition. Normally, if also we can use. If transaction item is not nothing. Transaction item means, let's see, if we don't have anything in this, because already queue items are over, then in that case, this is generally used condition. Transaction item is not nothing. This is not case sensitive. You can use both. Is not nothing. We need to do all these things in um, I'm doing in bit different when I want to just show you flow decision also. That's why I'm just doing in different manner. Okay. Okay, fine. So again, it will work only for one. I want to just go for flow decision concept. Let me complete first all the sets. Yes, it's successful. Now I want to move this performer in a main, which will run consecutively. There will not be any interruption in between. So right now in our queue items, there is no any new queue item. So initially we should add our queue items in a queue. So for that, which workflow I should run? Which workflow I should run? Which workflow? Dispatcher, no?
Mm, yes, sir. Dispatcher.
Yes. So I'm just running my dispatcher. So my all items will move to my queue. Okay. Now there will be again 5 more items. Okay. Now I want to process whole transaction items in a one way or in a one shot. So in that case, if there is any exception, then it will just throw the exception. If it is working well, then it will write the status. So this way I want to do. So to work with all these transaction item, let me start from main. So in main, I'm just taking one flow chart because here I want to explain you how flow chart and flow decision concept works. So in flow chart, initially I am using this log message, and initially I'll just declare my counter. The same concept of you Satish told that we can use do while, the same concept I'm using, but I'm using in a flow decision way. So initially I'm declaring my counter as a z, let's say I'm just declaring my counter as a 1, and here I can put the message box the process is started and the counter value is initially it will be 1. This is for information purpose. Then after starting this one, I should run my this workflow. Which one? Performer workflow. So to run my performer workflow, I should use invoke workflow. This activity I should use. So to invoke workflow, I think we have covered this one, invoke workflow. So I am pointing my dispatcher, sorry, performer here, since we are not doing any arguments exchanging or values we are not exchanging, we are just putting only invoke workflow. Then we are incrementing counter. So initially it will be 1. We should increment our counter as 1. Counter is equal to counter plus 1. I have means not done anything different. I'm just uh, I have taken just the same workflow here. Only that thing I have done, but I want to show you how flow decision is working. That's why I am dragging whole workflow in a main. Now, initially counter will be 1, so it will work continue to execute this workflow. Then it will increment the counter, and then we have some activities I want to tell you. I think we have only 1 minute. Let's reconnect and we can continue the session.